Yo, what's up guys? We got pokeaimMD here. Today we're going to be talking about Starmie, one of the best Pokemon in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. This is also another requested Pokemon. As always, leave the Pokemon down below that you would like to see me cover next, whether it be a group of Pokemon or one particular Pokemon. I do plan on covering both Magnezone and Magneton in one video. And of course, I haven't forgotten the Lake Trio. I just wanted to test a few more things in the RU tier before I come up with something like, just because a set worked back in the day doesn't mean it works now. So I've been going through a lot of the sets just to be sure. But also, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I'm on my way to 300k. That is my end of the year goal. We just started a new year, so if you like the content, feel free to subscribe. Today I'll have not only this video, but a showdown live as well as a Wi-Fi battle later today too. So uploading 2 to 3 videos a day, every single day. And also guys, today's the 8th, I believe, when this video goes up. So the 9th is the final day to pick up my new BDSP launch merch. So if you guys would like to pick it up, today and tomorrow are the final days to pick it up. But yeah, let's get into Starmie. So Starmie has always been a top tier Pokemon. And then X and Y came and it went down to UU. And then it kind of just fell off a little bit as just an offensive rabbit spinner. It didn't really have the offensive power because of the power creep in general. I remember Aegislash being something that was around, and it didn't let Starmie rapid spin because it could beat it 1v1 easily, and it made Starmie's job harder. And then as an offensive water, it had competition from Greninja as well. But seeing as how we're back in a limited metagame, in a Gen 4 metagame, Starmie has become this insane threat once again. So the first Starmie set we have is the Life Orb Offensive Starmie set. Now this Starmie set is going to run Analytic. Analytic is a fantastic ability. Basically, this Pokemon's attacks have 1.3 times power, which is the equivalent of a Life Orb boost, if it's last to move in a turn. Now typically you'd be like, well, that's terrible because Starmie has 361 speed, so it's probably going to be faster than most Pokemon. You are absolutely correct. However, Analytic also works if your opponent switches. So really easy scenario. My opponent has an Infernape out in front of me. I have Starmie. My opponent should switch even if they are Scarf and go for U-turn, which Starmie would not die to. And then they end up bringing out, let's just say a water resist, right? They end up going out into Latios just to take the Hydro Pump, or they end up going Azumarill just to take the Hydro Pump. Because it's Analytic boosted as well as Life Orb boosted, it does enough to Azumarill to easily knock it out with Thunderbolt after. So basically, this Pokemon is incredibly hard to switch into. Even Special Defensive Clefable has to worry about Analytic boosted Hydro Pumps. So, a giant threat. Timid max speed, max special attack. You're always going to want to go max speed on Starmie, in my opinion, especially in this metagame right here, where the best Pokemon, Gengar, Latios, Infernape, Garchomp, are all slower than you. And if you go modest or anything else, you lose out on that important speed tier. So in order to get off as many attacks as possible with Starmie, which is your goal when it comes to Starmie, and hopefully land your Hydro Pumps, that's what you got to do. Now, you can use Hydro Pump. I like Hydro Pump a lot because, again, Analytic Hydro Pump can knock out so many Pokemon. Like Hydro Pump will knock out a Gliscor, whereas Surf won't. Of course, you do have Ice Beam, but it's just an example, right? Like, Gliscor can live a Life Orb Surf. Another example, Magmortar can live a Surf, but not a Hydro Pump. Of course, it also depends, like, if Life Orb is knocked off in that situation. But just that's a really niche one. Just something that came to mind because that happened in my Magmortar video. But yeah, Hydro Pump or Surf, if you like power versus accuracy. I personally like the power. Starmie does not have to worry about Pursuit in this metagame, which is awesome. So I can actually switch out versus Pokemon like Tyranitar. But Hydro Pump is so nice because it will also 2-KO Special Defensive Scizor, something that Surf cannot do. So, especially if Scizor tries to switch in on you. So that's, again, that's something that you want to keep in mind. So Hydro Pump or Surf are your main moves. You're going to want Ice Beam after. Ice Beam is fantastic. Latios, Latios, Garchomp, Dragonite, obviously the grass types in the tier as well, like Breloom, good for Gliscor without having to risk missing. Latias, it's just a strong move. Tangrowth as well. Togekiss, it's just a strong move in general. And then your next move is either Thunderbolt or Psychic. Thunderbolt will give you super effective hits on water types like Manaphy and opposing Starmie, as well as obviously good super effective versus Feraligatr and Polion. Psychic is another option if you are more so worried about like Gastrodon walling you, because Psychic with Analytic can be a 2-KO on Gastrodon depending on the sets, especially if it's physically defensive, though most should be special defensive. But Psychic also has the ability to knock out like bulky Breloom, and it's just strong for Gengar if you want to try Rapid Spin, so KO that with a Psychic, whereas it can live a Life Orb Hydro Pump. So it's just an option like that. And Psychic also has the ability to smack Rotom Wash, which is a really good Pokemon right now. But you missed out on that super effective water type coverage, so the Thunderbolt. But Psychic is still strong. And then your last move is either Rapid Spin or Recover. Starmie is a great Rapid Spinner because it's faster and it threatens out a lot of Pokemon, so Rapid Spin is great. Recover, if you want that longevity, you can play Starmie. Like basically sometimes people will try and stall it out via Life Orb into a priority range from like Extreme Speed from Dragonite, Ice Shards from Mamoswine, Extreme Speed from Lucario, Bullet Punches from Scizor, just to get it that low. So you could use Recover just to kind of do that, because Starmie is a Pokemon, like I said, that forces switches to just avoid that, to be able to avoid that priority pick off. But yeah, that's Life Orb Starmie. Now, of course, we can go a little bit stronger, and this is Choice Spec Starmie. However, I do have it slashed with Choice Scarf because they run the same moves. Again, Analytic on this one is incredible. Choice Spec Starmie is even harder to switch into, just because that's Spec Psychic. I think you definitely want Spec Psychic on Starmie as well, just because, again, Rotom being like 2-hit KO'd, or offensive Rotom dying after Stealth Rock is so cool. You also have the Hydro Pump. I think you definitely want Hydro Pump on Specs, man. You just do too much damage to Scizor, too much damage to Magnezone, too much damage to Tyranitar to warrant going Surf on the Specs set. And then you have Thunderbolt or Grass Knot. Of course, I already mentioned what Thunderbolt's for. Grass Knot's only if you're that paranoid about Gastrodon, but besides that, always go Thunderbolt on Specs, in my opinion. And then Ice Beam is there, of course, amazing. OHKOing, Tangrowth, and stuff like that. So you can use Choice Specs. Really, really strong, right? Doesn't require too much prediction either, because most of the time you can, especially if your opponent is running offense, even if they have like shaky water resist, like Manaphy's base 100 around the board, but it does not like Stealth Rock plus Analytic boosted Specs Hydro Pump. So right, it's gonna do like 40-something% to Manaphy. So it just does not like that. So they're very shaky answers to a Spec Starmie. So again, it's up to you. Choice Scarf also can be cool for surprise KOs, Pokemon that you revenge kill, or you might be able to surprise KO. Obviously, Scarf Garchomp, Salad Berry Garchomp that's boosted, Scarf Infernape, the Scarf Latias, Scarf Gengar, Scarf Breloom. So just there's obviously Scarfers, and also +1 Gyarados, +1 for Alligator. You can revenge kill all these Pokemon too. So it's kind of just, that's the main reason you'd be using that. +1 Dragonite as well, that's locked into Outrage. So, and also Scarf Staraptor. So these are just Pokemon that Scarf Starmie can get the speed tier on. It's going to run the same moveset. You can also put Rapid Spin, I think, on Scarf Starmie as well. Rapid Spin can go somewhere here. I just like full-on offensive on Choice Specs, though. Choice Specs should never run Rapid Spin. It should always just run full-on offensive, because the point of that Pokemon is to get off as much damage as possible. Now, we've shown all the offensive sets. Now it's time to go a more defensive route. So Starmie, again, has that really good speed tier over some very prominent threats in the metagame, and it can easily run a more defensive nature. Now, sometimes defensive Starmie will run like Bold, Max Defense, Max HP, and stuff like that, but I think, again, in a metagame with Infernape, and this being able to actually fit on Stall if it really wants to in bulkier teams, I think you just want to run Max Speed again, because that Scald can be, you know, life or death in terms of the team, because Mixed Infernape can be very threatening for Stall. So the item's going to be leftovers for the most part, just for the longevity, but you can run Cobra Berry if you really, really want to Rapid Spin on a potential Weavile. But you have to be at full HP to be able to live the Throat Chop decently well. It also lets you Rapid Spin on Tyranitar, depending on the sets, if long as they're not Banded, because Banded will do a million and probably knock you out through the Cobra, and Stone Edge will knock you out too. But max speed, max HP. Scald is going to be your main move. You're going to go Natural Cure on this one as well, because you want to be able to switch it on Toxic Spice, which you can Rapid Spin away. You don't have to worry too much about status, Thunder Wave, Poison, Burn, whatever, and you can just Rapid Spin it away. So Scald, main thing, because it's not for its offensive power, but it's for the 30% chance to burn, so it gives you that little, it's still scary, right? Even though it's not an offensive Starmie. Offensive Starmie, one of the scariest Pokemon in the metagame, right? Specs Gengar, Specs Latios, offensive Starmie, those are some of the scariest special attackers in the metagame. So this doesn't have that same oomph as that Pokemon, but being able to threaten something with a burn is just still just as crazy, right? Like if you have Cobra Berry and Crawdon's in front of you and you Scald Burn it, the knockoff doesn't actually KO you, whereas it'll kill through Cobra Berry most of the time because of adaptability, but if you Scald Burn them, you won't. But yeah, Scald, Rapid Spin, and Recover are always going to be a given on defensive Starmie. Recover for the longevity, to be able to just sit there and stay alive. Rapid Spin, obviously, that is your main role, right? You want to get rid of hazards on your opponent's on your side of the field. And then your last move is kind of a toss-up of what you need. Psychic gives you a good way of OHKOing Breloom, right? Also, it allows you to beat Gengar easier, which is basically your Rapid Spinner that's faster than Gengar. Gengar is something like a spin block, so Psychic will do more to it. Then there's Ice Beam. Ice Beam can still let you deal with Gliscor and Garchomp and Dragonite and do solid damage to Latios and stuff like that, while still being able to retain your Rapid Spin. Thunderbolt gives you a hit versus opposing Starmie and other bulky waters like Crawdaunt. Not bulky waters, but other water types like Crawdaunt. And then there's Thunder Wave, which can better support your team. If you think something's going to try and set up in front of you, you click Thunder Wave on it, so you'll go down and everything, or you just stop their sweep as much as possible. In terms of Pokemon that you want to use with Starmie, it's super easy to use Pokemon with Starmie, right? You can use more offensive teams. Starmie's great on Sticky Web teams because it gives you Rapid Spin support. Offensive Starmie is good on that. So obviously, Shuckle is like I think the best Sticky Webber. You can use offensive Scissor with it because it appreciates Starmie being able to deal with Heatran as well as Infernape, whereas Starmie appreciates that Scizor deals with Latios, which is something that Starmie might be faster than, and if it is confirmed faster, can 2-hit KO, but still will die to Draco Meteor. Weavile is a great partner as well because it deals with Alakazam, which is something that is faster than Starmie. You can threaten it with a Shadow Ball. Also, more defensive variations can be like Gliscor, Starmie, Heatran can work with that type of pair. I think Scizor is always a fantastic partner. I love actually the combination of Rotom Wash and Starmie. So double waters work, and it actually works just because Rotom can tank the Earthquakes coming out from Mamoswine. It can switch into that because Mamoswine is a giant threat, right? And even Starmie doesn't like switching in on it, even if it threatens it with offensive damage. And also Rotom can deal with Scizors by burning them, Tyranitars by burning them, Gliscor Earthquakes, Heatran Magma Storms, and things like that. And just Thunder Wave and weaken them and everything like that. So that's always an option too. Skarmory on more defensive builds. Skarmory, Bliss, Clefable obviously work with the defensive Rapid Spinner set, and they appreciate the fact that Starmie helps deal with Mix and Fernape. And of course, Latios and Starmie are fantastic partners. Same thing with Starmie, Alakazam, and Gengar. Not all on the same team, maybe, but they all work together because they're strong offensive, either Psychics or just ghosting Gengar's case. So, yeah, that's what we have for today. Stay tuned for the Showdown Live later today, as well as the Wi-Fi battle. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.